Hello, Santa Barbara and Montecito. My name is Daniel Zia. I'm the founder and CEO of the Zia Group here with eXp Realty on the Central Coast. And I am going to be bringing to you today the end of the year statistics for 2022, specifically for the South Santa Barbara County real estate market that goes from everything from Carpinteria to Goleta, with a focus and emphasis on Santa Barbara and Montecito. So if you're wondering, with all of the national and local news headlines the last year, what actually happened, I'm here to break it down to you step by step. Starting with just the summary first, if you're wondering what happened with the market, as when you look at the year as a whole, the market had a fewer number of sales, lower inventory, but prices actually went up. It was a very unique market in that even though we had interest rate variability, generally when we have interest rate variability and buyer demand go down, sellers end up getting more motivated. We have more listings that end up coming on the market. The listings don't end up selling, and the inventory levels start to rise. Last year, we actually had inventory levels shrink to even lower numbers, and we had buyers continue to stay into the market. They may not have been as active or aggressive as they were in 2020 and 2021 post-COVID, but they were still active and engaged in the market, and they were looking for deals, they were looking for opportunities, and they still wanted to buy. And the number one thing that they were looking for simply was just the right home to buy. And the long and the short of it is, at the end of the day, because inventory levels were so low, and a lot of sellers decided not to sell last year, bring their homes on the market. Part of that reason was they couldn't find a home to buy themselves, or the interest rates had risen so much that home that they wanted to buy was now more expensive. So they just stayed steady, and so that we didn't have that new inventory come on the market, and the buyers couldn't find new homes that they wanted to buy. So it was a little bit like this standoff that happened. But overall, it was still a good year when you put it in the historical context of real estate in Santa Barbara. And I'm going to walk you through what happened step by step, going through the statistics. So if you're not already on our website, you can always find this. If you go to the Learn tab of ziagroup.com, down to Housing Reports, that gets you into this. We do an end-of-the-year review. This is for all of South Santa Barbara County. I'm also going to do a second one for the luxury markets of just Hope Branch and Montecito, so you can look at that video as well. And then every month of this year, like we've been doing for the last few years, we actually give monthly market updates. So if you want to be on that list and get that delivered to your inbox, please just go ahead and contact us. We're happy to get you on that distribution list. So let's go ahead and dive in here. As you can see here, the total number of sales, a little over 1,400 total sales. That includes condos and single-family homes all over South Santa Barbara County. That's a 35% decrease. So if you have a pie, that is a 1/3 slice of the pie gone as far as the total number of sales in the market. When you look at houses and condos, you can see that the condo market took a slightly larger hit in the decreased number of sales, but overall pretty similar. Now, when it comes to the median price for houses and condos combined, that actually went up 15% compared to houses that saw a slightly lower median home price jump up of just 12%. For single-family homes when you look at the market as a whole. When you look at the luxury market, which we'll hit on another video, the luxury market actually saw a larger appreciation in 2022 compared to 2021. Now, I will say, when we say that the market as a whole went up from the median and average sales prices, it's really interesting because that data is slightly misleading. The way that I look at that is January through January, February, March. We were really, our market was very similar to 2021, and we actually saw some really strong appreciation those first 3 months of the year. March, April, interest rates started going wild. The buyers didn't know what was happening. Agents didn't know what was going to happen. No one could predict what was going to happen, how high those interest rates were going to go, and whether or not sellers were going to bring on new inventory. So the market went on this weird kind of holding pattern, which I'll show you later. But the long and the short of it is, in my view, we saw front-loaded appreciation at the beginning of the year. Then we entered into a period of time where whether or not we had any appreciation at all or the market actually went down, you can't really tell because the statistics are looking kind of year over year. And I think we had a little bit of an upswing at the very end of last year. We actually had a strong December where we had a greater percentage of homes sell in December compared to the new homes that came on the market versus any month in the last 2 years. When you look at the year as a whole, 2022 versus 2021, in 2022, about 85% of the homes that came on the market actually sold. Still a very strong market compared to what we see most years. compared to the year before in 2021, where 90% of the new home inventory that came on the market that sold. So 9 out of 10 homes in 2021 sold, and then 85% sold in 2022. Here is actually, you can see the average and median home price chart from 1990 all the way to the end of last year. The long and the short of it is, if you bought a home, if you own a home now in town, compared to, and you bought it 25 years ago, the median home price would have gone up almost 5 times, and the average sales price went up almost 9 times compared to 25 years ago, right? So the average is up there right now in that 2.7 range, and the median there in the 1.7 million range when you factor in houses and condos combined. When you look at the number of sales every year going back nearly 10 years, you can see there's been fairly consistent sales volume in the 17 to 19 kind of 100 sales range. And then COVID hit, and we started to see that go up to 2,100, and then 2,200 was kind of the peak in 2021 with the all-time highest kind of number of sales and the volume of sales in our market. And then 2022, you can see here where we went from essentially 2,200 sales in 2021 down to 1,400 sales in 2022. Now, this goes over home sales by month. One of the questions that we often get is there a good or a bad time to sell a home? I was talking to one agent in the Midwest where their market almost completely shuts down when the hardcore winter hits, and then it really peaks there in the third quarter in the spring and the first half of the summer. You can see here, let me remove some of these. So you can see this is just 2022. So you can see January and February and March were actually good sales months. And then everything started happening with interest rates, and everyone wondered what was happening, and people started sitting on the sidelines. And that's where we normally would see the average, the number of sales in April, May, June, July, August all go up, right? That would typically go up because we'd have more sales every month going into the late spring and the summer, and then we'd start to fall seasonally there in the fall. This was really interesting in that we started having all this variability based on kind of when the Fed would come out with what was actually going to happen to the Fed rate. Every time there was an increase or a big increase predicted to come, that's where we started seeing some of this variability. And then we hit both kind of the hardcore uncertainty kind of at the end of the year, like, hey, is the market going to go down in 2023? What's actually happening? Combined with the seasonality of lower inventory and lower sales activity, typically in the fall. So we had all that kind of hit. And then December, again, it was a low sales month, but when you look at the number of homes that came on the market, it actually had a much higher percentage of sales happen in December compared to now the homes that came on the market. So the month felt very active. Now in the January market, which we are after that point here, the January market was actually very, very active January of 2023. So I'll share a little bit of that later as well. This chart just shows kind of where the sales activity was in the different parts of South Santa Barbara County. You can see that Santa Barbara maintains the lion's share of sales activity, followed by Goleta, then in Montecito, Carpinteria, Hope Ranch, and the smallest little sliver there in Summerlin. Median sales price by area, Hope Ranch and Montecito definitely take the cake as the two most expensive areas in town. Hope Ranch actually has a higher median sales price than Montecito, and that's for a couple of reasons. One of the primary reasons, though, is that Hope Ranch really has no condos, where Montecito has condos and single-family homes and large estates all combined, which drops that median home price a little bit. But in Hope Ranch, we did see there that we had a median sales price of $5.6 million in Hope Ranch. And then again, down in Santa Barbara, a lower median home price, comparatively speaking. So there you have it. That's kind of the primary summary. I'm going to go over the luxury market in a separate video. So if you want to continue, just keep scrolling down the page. You're going to see the video for the luxury market. But do keep in mind, long-term home ownership in Santa Barbara and South Santa Barbara County still makes a tremendous amount of sense. Again, think about it. 25 years ago, anyone bought their home. Their home was worth anywhere between 5 to 9 times as much as they paid 25 years ago, depending if you're using the median or the average sales price statistic. There were a little under 1,500 homes sold, that kind of 14, I think it was 43 range. Another thing to keep in mind is if you have any friends in the business, do be aware we actually have more real estate agents in South Santa Barbara County than the number of sales. There's more than 1,400 real estate agents here in town, and so that means there's a lot of agents out there that aren't making any sales. They're part-time in the business. They don't have the market knowledge and the expertise that are going to allow them to be a good fiduciary for you. So if you are looking to interview a real estate agent or a real estate team in 2023 to meet your real estate goals, please do consider Z Group. We are happy to help. And the last thing I'll mention is we do get questions about whether or not there are cash offers in our market. There are. The average was 34% last year, so one out of every three closings posted as a cash sale without any financing component. Some of those buyers may have got loans after the fact, but they were still considered cash offers. So there you have it. There's your summary for 2022, what happened in the real estate market. As far as predictions in 2023, no one's got the crystal ball. I mean, you talk to the experts, you have different people are thinking different things. Now, I will say, if you talk to me in the fall of 2022, I was far more pessimistic about the 2023 market than I am here in 2023. One of the elements that we saw in January of 2023, kind of mid-January, is it was like someone turned on a light switch. I mastermind with top team owners all across the country, and about 70% of them confirmed it was almost like the same week. Buyer consumer confidence came back. They saw multiple offers come back in their market. Listings that have been sitting for a few months suddenly were selling again with multiple offers. Started seeing some as-is sales. Started seeing some contingency-free sales again. So a lot of real estate team owners are far more optimistic about 2023 than we were. Whether or not we're actually going to see appreciation in our market this year is to be seen. My best guess is we're probably going to have a slower and steady market, probably flat or low single-digit appreciation. But with everything going on nationally and internationally in the economy, with interest rates, inflation, everything, it's too soon to tell. So do please watch our monthly updates. I'll be candid and transparent every month as we give you the real statistics and the play-by-play of what's happening on the ground with real live negotiations. Since we are the top team in Santa Barbara and we sell in some cases almost twice as many homes as any other agent or team in town, that gives us this up-to-date market knowledge, where in those monthly updates, I'll tell you exactly what's going on, what's happening with our listings, what's happening with multiple offers, how many offers we're seeing, if we're seeing offers go significantly above the asking price, or they're more measured, but we're still getting a large number of them. That's the data that we'll deliver to you every month in 2023. So please do reach out if you want to be on our list to get that, and hope this report was of value. Have a great 2023.